thank y'all for coming to Ask the Experts. Richard, would you like to say a few words first?
As far as Ask the Experts?
Yeah,
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay. Well, Ask the Experts started, I don't even know, it's like 4 years ago. It was Rush Paul and Vaughn Long came up with the idea of having a session, and we decided to do it before the luncheon because that was easier to get to than having it at a separate time. But it was basically bringing in chamber members with a certain expertise, talking to other chamber members, and unlike a lot of events that are thrown by chambers, this was included as part of your membership, so you didn't pay any extra to come to this event. And the idea was to have topics that you could basically walk out of the room today and go implement immediately in your business. So it just made a whole lot of sense, and we've been doing for a long time. I don't even know how many years. It's been a while.
And this is with the Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce, correct?
Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce.
Okay. All right, so today we're going to talk about focusing on your target market. And the pin sponsor today is CNF Bank.
See that?
Jamie Cox.
Pen sponsor, but
We have a pin sponsor because we're going to be writing on some of this stuff here.
oh, okay. I didn't know
So today will be an open forum. So we're going to go around and y'all just introduce yourselves, tell us your company and just a little bit about your services. And we can start with Melanie.
Okay, some of you guys already know me. So I work with ThriveWorks Counseling. I think I met you too the other day.
Yes.
So it's a counseling service. We have several clinicians that work with us. So we see kind of a range of different mental health needs, families, couples, children, adolescents. We can kind of see a little bit of everything. And we also have folks there that can do medication management. So it's nice to kind of have everybody in one place. We can get people's needs met. So we're over on Laurie Road near the courthouse.
Okay. Chris?
Chris Higginbotham. I'm with Tutor Doctor. We're in-home tutoring service. We work with all ages, all subjects. We kind of work to find the right tutor for the right student based on their needs. And we go to the home, so we don't have physical locations. So just give us a call and we'll come to you.
All right.
My name's Angelia Kane. My company is Church and Snyder. I produce videos, marketing videos for small businesses.
Okay. All right. Vaden?
I'm Vaden Scott, and I'm with First Financial Group, and we do a holistic planning for people, individuals as well as businesses. We work with insurance and disability insurance and investments and annuities, and we try and help people gain wealth for the rest of their life.
And I'm Richard Swed with the Risk Management Group. We represent Legal Shield, which is a subscription-based legal service. You're connected to an entire law firm, and you just pay a monthly fee. It could be families, individuals, or businesses. And we also do identity theft protection. And I'm sure by now you've heard of that. And we are the #1 identity theft protection in the country now, because we use a company that is a global security and risk management company, a company by the name of Kroll. So same thing, subscription service.
All right, good. So just kind of wanted to give you a little bit about my background. I'm Samuel Little with Samuel Little Graphic Design and Marketing. And I started out my business in 1995. And I was a freelancer for Southern States Cooperative. And so it pretty much kind of built my business with doing print design for them. So then there's this thing called the internet came.
Yeah.
And so I really needed to figure out what the internet was about and learn all about that. So that was 19 years ago when I started developing websites. And I built my business basically on saying yes, because back then there wasn't any information on the internet as far as how to build a website or anything like that. So I've been doing that for quite some time. And so not long after that, I was contracted, my company was contracted by the Chesterfield Observer newspaper, which is a Chesterfield County local paper. And so once I started getting involved with the Observer, I had already been going to some Chesterfield County Chamber of Commerce meetings, and I just felt like at that time my marketing with the Observer would work very well with joining an association that was in the same area. So I just felt like those two things would couple themselves very and be cohesive to be able to be a part of the Observer and also a part of the Chamber. So that's where the Chamber is where I do a lot of my marketing, and through that I've been able to create my target market to be the whole county, Chesterfield County. But over the years, I've been in business for 22 years, and over the years, it's really, my market has become more focused. And for me, being very, very focused is key. To be very focused on my client, the types of clients that I look for, which are solo entrepreneurs, micro businesses, and small businesses. Also to be very focused in the area, which is 9 to 12 radius miles, which is 288, Chippenham, Midlothian, and Hull Street. That's my target. That's where probably about 80% of my clients are, just in that one small strip of space. That's not to say that I don't have clients in other places. I have international clients, but everything originates from that one target. And so just to stay really focused in that one target market. So now let's just talk about, I have your sheets here. So, and we have 3 questions here. One is, who is your target market? The next one is reaching your target market. And the other one is creating a shorter sales funnel. So this is gonna be an open forum for us to kind of discuss, who is your target market? How do you reach them? And then we're gonna talk a little bit more about the sales funnel. Is everybody familiar with the sales funnel?
No, tell us
No?
about sales funnel.
Okay, tell you about the sales funnel. We can start with the sales funnel if you like. So on the back of your sheets is the sales funnel.
Good.
So the sales funnel, the first one here is like a typical sales funnel. You start with leads, sales call, a follow-up, a conversion, and then the sale. So this is, this is a typical one where, like, if you're a salesperson, you're going to be out getting leads. Hey, Nancy.
Hi, guys.
And then you're gonna have those leads, and then you're gonna make a sales call. And then after you make the sales call, you're gonna follow up with them. So this is a process that you go through, and everybody's process is gonna be different, or I would like to think that it's gonna be different, because this next one down here is the sales funnel that I would like to have. You don't have to follow traditional sales funnels, because they're probably not that good or fun. I mean, this is a sales funnel where, you get leads, you follow up, you have to call on them. More of a sales, a way to do sales. For me, with the way I get business is through the Chesterfield Chamber. So for me, it would be join an association and find referral sources through that association and build trust with those people. And then, well, the next one, it says build trust. So I would build trust with those people. And then the next one for me would be a trusted referral. So they'll send me referrals that are a trusted referral. So even though this sales funnel is still the same amount of steps, I really feel like it's even shorter, because I'm not really doing a lot of the work. Because I build referral sources, and then they send me business, and then really the only part that I really do work on is the phone call and the sale. So my sales funnel is very short, to where when people call on me, it's somebody referring them, and they're just going to do business with me based on the trust that I've built with the person.
They've already seen what you do.
They already know what I do. And usually they say, this is the guy that does websites, and he's going to do your website. And so when I call them, they're like, where do I send the check? How much is it?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Aren't you just right?
Well, it's not always like that, but I've just been very blessed in business so that's how it happens, because I've been in the chamber for 9 years. And so just by building that trust, by always being here and being accountable, I've built a trust to where people just refer me.
Yeah, and I think to bring up a point, I think a lot of people have a misunderstanding about the networking in the chamber. They think you join the chamber and people are all of a sudden going to send you business. And that's not really the case. The way it works is you entrench yourself, you do stuff. Uh-oh. You do stuff in the chamber, you get involved, and immediately people get to know you, they trust you, and then what happens, and it's happened, with Samuel, is all of a sudden somebody's talking and they mention something about a website. I had a thing last month where I had a conversation with somebody and they were talking about they weren't getting as many leads as they want. And I know somebody in the chamber that's what they do. I said, okay, let me introduce you to this person. So that's really how it works. It works because somebody knows who you are, they know what you do, and when somebody mentions something, they say, there's somebody I want to introduce you to, because that's what they do. That's basically how it works, and that's how it's worked for you. Everybody knows what you do.
Right, right.
And that's what you want.
Well, Samuel, how long did it take you to get to that point?
That's a very good question. I don't really know the answer to that, but I've been in the chamber for 9 years, and just being involved with the chamber, just to let people know you need to be on a committee, just to be on top of mind. It's like I was just explaining to somebody earlier, it's like we have members that they join and they feel like that they can just try to sell everybody. And the chamber is a relationship chamber to where you get to learn what they do and to trust them, and then they'll refer you. You just have to be on a committee, be accountable, and be on top of mind. That's what really helps you be on top of mind. Like if somebody comes to me and say they need a particular service, I just kind of think on top of my head as far as what chamber member do I know that I can refer to them. And those are usually that cream of the crop of people that are always here, that I always see all the time. If you join an organization and then you're not a part of it, then nobody's going to remember what you do. Right. So it's really important to be active. And for me, I feel like when you join an organization, they want to latch onto you and say, join a committee. Right. And then you're suddenly kind of pushed off. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. I want to kind of see how all this works and work my way into it. And some people are turned off from that from the very beginning. Yeah. But our chamber, we just like for you to be a part of it the way you want to be a part of it. And really, you should engage it, engage the chamber much more so that you can always be on top of mind.
Yeah. The other thing, too, I think, is be very clear about what you do. Samuel's always been very clear about what he does. There are people in the chamber that I know that I still don't know what they do because they've never really been able to explain it. So if you have something that is, like tutoring, that's a pretty easy thing to understand. So you should be able to say to somebody in 30 seconds what you do. So like Samuel just said, if somebody said something about my kids having a problem, okay, I know the guy.
Right,
I got to introduce you to the guy.
Right, because Chris is a part of a connections group, so I see him twice a week, twice a month, and then I also see him at the chamber luncheon, which is today, and he might go to a chamber night out, or he might go to another function. So he's also on a subcommittee that I'm a chair of as well. So I see him and I have contact with him on a regular basis just because he's involved in a lot of different areas in the chamber. So I have a touch point with him at least 3 times a month. So he's always on top of mind, and that's those touch points with the chamber is always to be involved with each little thing so that you're touching a person. Like at the luncheon, there's more people in there than I have time, you know, there's more people in there than I have time to touch. But usually what I do is when I'm sitting at the table, I'm touching people across the room by just looking at them and maybe waving. Or I look at them and go like that. So I touch those people each time, even at the luncheon, even if I didn't talk to them. Sometimes it's not necessary that you speak to somebody, but that you actually are being seen, not necessarily heard.
Right.
So it's just a reminder. Sometimes I'll see somebody across the room and they'll be like, oh, I need to talk to you. You know, it's just a reminder for them because they've forgotten themselves.
Yeah.
So it's, the chamber's just very powerful. And we got onto this, Vicki, thanks for, your name is Vicki, right? Wendy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Wendy. And Nancy. And your name, sir? What is your name? Robert? And what do you do, Robert?
I'm opening a pizza restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Pizza restaurant in Westchester Commons
Okay.
with Mark Bowen. Oh, not with him.
Okay. Okay.
We're doing it's a down the line, so you come in, you pick your dough, you pick your sauce, you pick
Ah, yeah,
your
okay.
toppings. It takes about 4 minutes to cook, so it's good for lunch or dinner. Craft beer, craft gelato.
Okay.
Mid-late January is still what I'm shooting for. It may get pushed off into February, depending on architects and contractors and stuff.
Okay.
At this point, I'd be surprised if we got pushed to late February, but we'll see.
Okay. And Wendy, can you tell us what you do?
Sure, my company is called Ascend to Sell, and I'm a coach and work with business owners who either plan to sell their businesses at some point or pursue a growth strategy through an acquisition. So it's about mindset and awareness and how to set that process up to happen and then to be coached for a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay, good. And Nancy, can you tell us what you do?
My name's Nancy Rudolph. I am the director of a companion company. It's Agape Companions. It's a Christian-based company, and of course we place caregivers into homes so that folks can stay at home longer. And what I'm looking for is caregivers and contacts for homebound folks. So.
Okay. And Chris?
Chris Fawcett with Third Marble Marketing. I'm the Google guy. We drive traffic to websites. Don't build websites, just drive traffic to websites.
Okay, good. Well, thanks for joining us. This topic for today is focusing on your target market, and we just kind of started talking about the sales funnel, and we got onto a discussion as far as on the back of your sheet there. It's just a traditional sales funnel, but everybody can create their own sales funnel where it's not as painful in some areas. So you can, and I gave you this so you can, on the side here, so you can fill in your own sales funnel, however you might want to perceive that. My sales funnel here is this sales funnel, but it only really starts right here. I've built the referral sources, and I've built trust with chamber members, and then they do a trusted referral to me. And then I make a phone call, and then usually it turns into a sale fairly easily. So, any more questions about that?
No.
No?
So let's talk about the target market.
Okay.
Because I think if you run around the table, people would tell you, what's your target market? And they would say, everybody. I want to sell everybody. And you have a very focused target market, because I remember when we had conversations early on and you said, my target market is within 7 miles of the, and that's the first time I ever heard anybody so specific about their target market. You actually had a target market.
Yes, I do.
As opposed to everybody in the world.
Now, I can't be all things to all people everywhere in the Richmond area. For me, I started out in Chesterfield County, and what's built really good credibility with me is by working in such a small market, is that when I'm talking with the client, I'm usually talking to them in their target. So when I'm talking with them, I say, well, let me name a few clients of mine. And so literally out the window, I can say, that salon is a client of mine. Down the road, Cartridge World is a client of mine. Bonaire Vacuum is a client of mine. A client is a realtor brokerage company is a client of mine. So I can literally name targets right outside the window, and most likely that person is going to know those people. So I've already built credibility, is that I'm working with people that they already know and trust.
Yeah.
So that target, I didn't really pick that target. I just kept doing a lot of business in that target, and then I realized, oh, I've got a target.
Yeah.
And so then I started just focusing in that target, just by continually doing the same thing in that same target and reaching those people in the same way.
So how do you recommend somebody identify their target market? Because that's going to be different for everybody. So what do they do in order to decide what that will be?
Well, in some cases, you just got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Usually when it's, people feel like if you've designed a salon website, then you can do another salon website. And you just continue picking that target. And if that target works out for you, keep doing that same one. If it doesn't work for you, then, come up with another target. Or you don't necessarily have to come up with one. When you're in business, you never really know where your clients are going to come from or what types of services that they're going to need. For me, when I very first started, if they asked me, what I do, yes would be the answer. And so I just kept saying yes, 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 yes. And then at some point, I started saying no because I don't do those certain things. At some point, I realized that I'm not capable of providing the best service that I can for those things, but I have somebody else that I can refer you to that's in the chamber.
Right.
And that even builds more credibility.
Yeah. So you did it the way where, and that, for somebody that's been in business for a while, to just go back and analyze who are your clients, what do they have in common, and then that's your target market.
Right,
So if you've already done that. For a new person, just getting in business, then it may be a little more difficult. But again, to me, if you identify who your target is, it makes it a lot easier to then decide, how do I get to them? In other words, Richmond Times-Dispatch comes to you and I'm going to send you an ad and you spend thousands of dollars, that wasn't your target market. If you're in Chesterfield and you advertise in the Observer, which is a lot less expensive, that's your target market.
Right. Now for me, since I was a contractor for the Chesterfield Observer, part of my contract was ads. And I didn't really think that was going to work because it's a business, business to consumer, it's a consumer product, and I was business to business, but I felt like that wasn't going to work, but it's part of my contract, and print advertising is not cheap, and this was back, 2006. And so I put those ads out. I was getting more business from that than I could actually handle. And so, but that's not the case now. Print is, now that it's not part of my contract, if I was to pay money out of my pocket, I'd be like, don't do print at all. Definitely the internet is the way to go. And Google is the way to go. And social media, you can chime in, Chris, if you like. This is an open forum, so speak up, please. You have any input for us?
It's the way to go. I'll agree with that.
It's the way to go? Would you like to elaborate on that?
On Google?
Yeah,
Sure. Basically, our philosophy is if any business that would have advertised like in the Yellow Pages, filed ads in the Yellow Pages years ago, should be advertising on Google, because guess what? That's where people are looking for small businesses and addresses and phone numbers now.
Right.
It's in your pocket 24/7. So it's, that's where people are looking for your products and services, and that's where you should be advertising.
Okay. So any other questions?
Well, my business is based, it's not, when people ask me who my target market is, it's not who it is, it's what they are. I mean, I have a specific need to help people that desire to grow their wealth, that desire to be protected, that desire to have to look to a life beyond tomorrow. And when I get in bed with somebody, I'm in bed for life. So it's not like I'm not like a bunny rabbit that goes out and takes care of one situation and then moves on to somebody else. I mean, I'm there. Once I'm there, if we have a relationship, it's a long-lasting relationship. And the object, though, but you can't go out and look at people and say, well, this person needs my help. They've got to know, and they've got to want it. They've got to want that.
Right,
they've got to want
right.
to build their wealth. They've got to, and I help people find money they didn't know they even had. So I do a lot of work that way, and that's what I like to do. But you can't it's not defined by a demographic. It's not defined by some age group. You know,
Yeah.
people in my business say, well, I'd like to work with people between 40 and 45 and
There
have
you
two
go.
children and have a small house. That's great. It's wonderful. But I'm looking beyond that. I want to help them with budgets. I want to help them with financial. And I want to help them change their behavior. You go to a gym, if you don't change your behavior, you're not going to get any results. You got to change your behavior. Excuse me, I'm hollering. You gotta change your behavior.
You're passionate. You're passionate. You're passionate.
Right
So-
now. So backed.
Well, that
So
you bring up some good points. So, a lot of people say, I want to do everything for everybody in the whole Richmond area, but they're not really focusing on any one particular thing. And you brought up a very good point, which was, you know, people are looking for people that are between 30 and 45, that have a certain income, that live in a certain kind of house or whatever. You really need to focus on that, even though you might say, that's my target now, but it's going to change over time. But for me, it's, you know, you can always provide service for that target, but get all the extra stuff that's outside of that as well. Like my target market I feel like my target is more geographic than demographic, because I provide services for small businesses. That's pretty broad. But my main target is geographic, which is that 12 radius miles. And so when I tell people I'm looking for certain businesses in that market, then they know who to refer me to. But that doesn't mean that I can't do business across the river in Richmond, or out of the state, or across the country, or across the world. So I still get business outside of that, but my target is geographic, and your target can be demographic as well. So you got to start somewhere and being very focused, particularly when you're in a chamber environment and you're networking. You're telling people specifically what you're looking for, and that's what helps people send trusted business to you. So for you, I would suggest, you know, kind of sitting down and going through and saying, these are the people that I want to meet. And I understand in some cases you feel like, and maybe you feel like this, like you're judging people, you're judging them, you know, a book by its cover. But no, just focus on that one area and say, this is what I'm looking for. Because when you say you're looking for everything, it's hard for us to focus on any one thing.
Everything. That's great. I'm looking for a mindset. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a particular individual or an economic situation. I'm looking for somebody who's got the mindset that they realize that they'd like to do better than what they're doing financially. And that's who I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think it's a good point, because you define very well the person you're looking for. Now the question is, does the person you're looking for know that that's where you are? Because when I think of financial planners, you know, people in the space of, you know, they may sell stocks, they may sell financial planning, the first thing that I think comes to somebody's mind is, oh, that person is looking for somebody that has a lot of money, and I don't have a lot of money.
That's right.
And you just define you could help the person that doesn't have a lot of money get a lot of money, just because they're willing to be open with you as far as what they want, and you're willing to tell them, hey, we can get there. You may not be there now, but we can get there.
That's it.
So you ought to define yourself more, like you just said. This is the mindset that I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a particular age. I'm not looking for a particular income or net worth. What I'm looking for is a mindset of a person that I can help.
what kind of person? I'm sorry. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, so if you're looking for, if say you're looking for a mindset, if that's your demographic, my thought then is the next step to that would be, okay, well, someone with that mindset, where are they getting their news? What are they looking at? Where are they, what are they spending their
Good
time
point,
doing? And then kind of go from there. Is that the idea? Like, because you can do that even with a mindset, not just
Right,
with
right.
an age group or a location. You can say, people who think this way would look for information this way.
Yeah.
And then kind of.
I would say in your case, you're probably the only person I know that has that attitude, because most financial planners are looking for people with a lot of money. That, I mean, there are people that advertise, I don't even want to talk to you unless you have $500,000 or more. I mean, are they
Right.
looking for people with money? They're telling you that.
I'm looking for people
Right.
that would like to have $500,000.
So there you go.
Right,
So that
right.
really separates you from everybody else out there. You just got to get that message out. And, like she said, first off is anybody you talk to. And, so you're sitting down describing to people what you do. But then the other point is exactly what you said. Now you got to think about, okay, where would those people be? Where would they be sitting? Where would they be hanging out? That kind of thing. That becomes a little more, difficult. But, it's like anything. Like, Sam was saying, you got to come up with the group and how to get to them, so you're not wasting your time talking to people that you're never
Right.
going to be able to help because, they don't
They don't want it.
They don't
That's the
want
only
it.
reason I couldn't help them is because they don't want it.
They don't want it. They don't believe it. They don't believe they could ever have any money. That kind of mindset. So that's never going to work. So.
And Gloria, introduce yourself, Gloria.
Hi, I'm Gloria Pimenta. Everybody more or less knows me by now. We have Network Doctor, and Dr. Sim is one of our members as well, and we are a mutual community that we try to bring all the other communities together to build bridges among everybody. In this RVA community that's huge. So we're coming up with all different ideas and concepts to bring everybody together in the business and be
Okay.
successful.
And Trish.
I'm Tricia Branch, and I'm a certified financial planner. And do business for myself, but also work with network.
Okay. Okay, good. Well, thanks for joining us today. We're talking about focusing on your target market. So we're having an open forum to share ideas. Anybody have any additional ideas?
More of a question.
Sure.
Because most people like Newton Chamber are doing either business to business or some sort of financial mortgage, financial planning, insurance kind of situation. And there's where I'm in the retail market,
Right, right.
which like I've talked to Nicole at Thunderbolt Card.
Right,
Which is a similar situation. So it's a very different what I'm looking for.
Right, right.
I'm not building referral. I mean,
In a way you are. I mean, there still is a sales funnel, but it's more to consumers.
You're looking to get the word out.
Right, right.
And then once you open, reviews probably would be.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you going to take pizza out to people, or do they got to come in and do it themselves? Or
most
because
of
that's the deal.
It's
Like a salad bar.
We're probably going to do like the Uber Eats thing, where people can order it, but we're not going to have delivery on our own, at least to start. I want to look into developing that.
Right,
I don't
right.
like using third-party delivery services. But customers want it, so I'll do it.
But as a marketing strategy, you could bring pizza to things, right? And
Oh,
people
yeah.
try the pizza and
And we
they're
will,
like,
and we'll bring it to people. One of these guerrilla marketing, where every day I'm going to make some pizzas and just take it to neighborhood offices
Right,
or
right.
banks or whatever, where people are working and say, hey,
That'd be good.
we're over here, have some pizza.
Right,
You wanna
right.
Stop by if you get a chance.
Now, a great way to capitalize on that is take that to the next level, because I see way too often is you do the easy stuff, which is make the pizzas and take it to the business, but really what you need to do is go to the next step and post that on social media, or set up your social medias or your Google Plus or your Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, Instagram, all the different social medias, and even on your website. Have those feeds come into your website so that when you go out and deliver those, you're actually documenting that on your website or on your social media. So just take that to the next step and do that and give that, you know, that's how you get the word out, okay? Now, so you can also, there's two different targets that you would look at, particularly geographic targets, which would be how many people are going to buy pizza right around your store, and then when you're reaching out to businesses outside of that target, and that's what you want to do, you want to go outside of that target, is start posting stuff on social media and stuff like that, and really start getting the marketing going in that respect.
Is your pizza going to be, are you going to have a dining in, or is it mostly takeout?
Mostly dining. Oh, actually, we have about 100 seats, so there's plenty of dining in space. But historically, about a third of the people get it to go.
It what normally brings people back to get the, I mean, there's got to be, your competition's unbelievable. So something, you've got something that's going to bring people back. I know because the concept, is it because you can make your own pizza and get it done in a short period of time?
Yes. It's a personal pizza. It's ultimately customizable for the same price. So you have to worry about, is it worth it? You want one extra pepperoni, you want a whole bunch of black olives.
Right.
You can do that.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to worry about what your date or your business partner, your kids want. You get what you want. So it's quick, it's customizable, it's inexpensive.
I mean,
we have gelato and beer and wine and salads and such to go with it.
Well, hurry up and open. I'd like to
So see, with you sitting there explaining that, and with Vaden asking you that question, I feel like getting my phone out and doing a video of just him asking you that question and you explaining it, and then you post that on social media. You put that on YouTube and Google Plus and Facebook and all your social medias. That's content.
Too much social media.
It's all content. Everything that you do, you should be posting on social media. Yesterday, I had 8 meetings and errands that I had to do throughout the day. I posted 5 times yesterday on Google Plus, pretty much each thing that I was doing. I was on site doing video and photography for a client's website. I did video. I posted a photo. I went by CNF Bank to get the pins for today. Today is the pin sponsor today is CNF Bank. They provide us with pins.
Now, at some point, are you over delivering? Are people, people's Instagram, if you're getting hit there like 4, 5, 6 times a day by you, is that, at what point are they like,
I don't feel it's over delivering. People that don't want to hear your message, they're going to drop off. And you don't want to talk to people that don't want to hear your message. People that want to hear your message are the ones you want to focus on. Now, with some of the social medias, there are, like from what I've heard is Facebook, if you have 100 people that like your page, only 10 of them are going to see a post because Facebook is going to throttle you back. So the more you push out, the better it's going to be. Now, some of the social medias, they have their own worlds, okay? But Google has its own world, which is everything. So you want to try to use as many Google services as possible. And Google's they're gonna reward you for using their services. Would you like to elaborate on that, Chris?
Yeah,
Okay.
actually, you also have to target businesses because from now to Christmas, let's say, now it's all year round, but there's lots of events. I mean, for instance, we are a perfect example. We do events all the time in Richmond alone once a month. So if you said to me, Gloria, I am going to give you a special discount for the next event. Well, I'll say to you, you know what, bring the pizzas, let's try it. Because that is a whole new market for you. So for instance, if you want, we have a whole hub that we communicate with 3,500 businesses. I'm not here to blow my horn, it's your show, not mine, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
But that's a perfect, vehicle for you because those businesses, they do events, they do every kind of thing that you can apply pizza with. So we have from New York Life to all different types of businesses, Richmond Alarm, things like that they will call you. They'll say, oh, this pizza was fantastic, where did you get it, Gloria? Or they'll say to now a new hub, I mean, this fantastic, it was fantastic, the video looks incredible, I really want to go there and check it out. Oh, I want to bring it to our own event that we have for our employees. There's Customer Appreciation Day, there's Employees Appreciation, who knows, name it. I mean, these companies have so many events, it's like one after the other. So, I mean, that's a target market that you should go after, because it's sometimes much more than the regular consumer, because you multiply it many, many times over. So that's why instead of selling 2 slices, you're going to sell 10 pizzas. Oh wow, that's great.
Right,
No,
right.
but we also were planning on getting a trailer, so we could do catering events.
Right.
Ah, okay.
We don't have oven on the trailer. You know, because
Yep.
Like food
We
trucks.
have event
Like
coming
food
up
trucks.
in Richmond Alarm.
Yeah,
It's
they
gonna
do.
be with Cancer Society. I'm sorry, that's not going to be in Richmond Alarm. It's going to be in Cop Technologies. And they are bringing all kinds of pizzas because they offer to bring pizzas. I mean, perfect. I can marry you with them, and you have 10 pizzas right there.
Right.
You open up a whole new market because there's going to be several businesses there. Obviously, there's going to be maybe about 30, 40 businesses or more, and they can say the pizza's good. Let's go and try it for our event. So that's a market that we should go after.
Okay,
So the Google
good.
question though. is,
Right.
We have clients that get 50% of their phone calls come off their Google My Business page.
Mm-hmm,
And they typically will have a 4.7 or better star rating with 40, 50 reviews. And basically tell us their phone calls begin with, I just read your reviews on Google, I want to hire you.
Right, right.
Just, that pushes people, good solid reviews pushes people further down the funnel.
Right,
for
right.
hiring because they've already reviews have established credibility.
So I've been given the 10-minute warning here, but so if anybody, we've talked about Google, and a lot of people think, oh, Google is just so mind-boggling. Where do I start? So if you have any questions about marketing in general, you can give me a call or send me an email. I appreciate any questions you might have after this. And so at this point, I want to talk about my brand. I'm in the process, or actually today, I'm going to reveal my new brand. It's been taking a long time for me to make this transition. And so I'm just going to kind of read off this here. SLGD is rebranding to reflect what we have become after 20 years of service to our clients. It was a difficult challenge to rebrand. Along with other major brands like BB&T, AARP, and AT&T, we too have changed our company name to our initials SLGD to be more than graphic design. Samuel Little Graphic Design started before the internet era as a one-person design service working with teams creating highly effective print advertising projects. Today, SLGD is a network of competent and caring communications professionals specializing in website development, graphic design, and marketing strategies for small enterprises.
That's the old, here's the new.
I present to you SLGD. Thank you.
P.T. Bonham right here.
All right. Thanks for coming, y'all.
Thank you.